Can I become a millionaire in Terraria in just 50 days, starting with nothing but basic copper tools? Well, first, let's define what I mean by millionaire. I'm talking about 1 million coins in real money, not 1 million copper coins. So how much is that in-game? Well, according to the Terraria devs, 1 gold equals 1 USD. So that's what we're going to be using, which means I need to make 1 million gold coins in 50 days. Sounds impossible, right? Well, to up the stakes, I decided if I fail the challenge, I have to smash my balls with the hammer 200 times. We start off in a journey mode world for reasons I'll explain later, but don't worry since I never actually lower the difficulty below expert mode. Now, the plan is simple. I need to make a farm capable of generating a bunch of money, but how do I do that? Well, first I need some items, the first of which is a finch staff, which you actually spawn with when you start a journey mode character, but I throw it out because it's cheating. And also I added a day counter in the bottom left. And if you're wondering why it's changing rapidly, that's because I'm changing it from the world counter to the player counter. Anyways, the plan is I need a few items, which I'll probably show on screen. I make a farm and then I win, basically. And just like every time you start a Terraria world, the first thing I do is go in a cave, die almost immediately, go back in the cave, find my first heart crystal, almost die again. What is hitting me? I actually have no clue what was hitting me there. Oh, it's a black slime. They would have got a big fat boulder dropped on their head had I not broken it, but I also probably would have gotten a boulder dropped on my stupid head. I cannot see where I'm at. The zombie's gonna kill me. Yeah, I keep doing 1 damage to him while I slowly drown. Somehow clutch this situation. I don't really want to die to you. Uh-oh. Somehow clutch this situation. And then after reaching my goal of 50 silver, I get out of there. Now, the reason I want 50 silver is probably really obvious. You need it for the merchant to arrive. And you may be asking, why do I need the merchant? Well, I really don't. He's just a prerequisite to the demolitionist. And now you may be asking why I need the demolitionist. Well, I really don't. I just need his bombs. But anyways, I built 4 houses. One for the 3 NPCs I have, and then the extra one for the robot from a mod that I accidentally left on. And after goofing around a little bit, now it looks like mobile, the merchant finally decides to move in. And then almost immediately after disaster strikes, the nurse decides to move in instead of the demolitionist, which leaves me with 2 options. Either disabling the mod that I'm not using, or building another box for him. And of course I'm lazy, so I just built another box. Now this doesn't sound too bad, and that's because it really isn't that bad. I just didn't want to build another house. Anyways, the demolitionist moves in right before it turns nighttime, and while playing with some dynamite, I get exceptionally unlucky. Now this isn't the first time the RNG screws me over, which you would know if you weren't playing on your phone while watching this video. But unfortunately, this is kind of a waste of a night. Now, I do actually need a blood moon for one of the items, although unfortunately I'm not strong enough at this point to take it on, nor even to really deal with the blood moon at all. After wasting some time getting some bait, I decide to go back into the cave. My main goal at this point is to find my way all the way down to hell. Although unfortunately after reaching a new depth, I managed to die in a way I'd argue wasn't really my fault. At this point I get the bright idea of fighting the brain of Cthulhu for some money. My next goal is it's to get to hell, but currently it's to go fight the brain of Cthulhu for some money. When suddenly I get the warning for a goblin army approaching. Now this is bad for 2 reasons. 1, I don't really want to fight them. And 2, I don't even plan on looking for the Goblin Tinker, which is the only reason you fight the Goblin Army at all. And just in case you didn't believe I didn't want to fight them, here's some proof. Okay. Yeah, I just can't jump. I was hitting spacebar 25 times, and they're gonna kill the merchant. I don't know why he's homing in on the merchant. I did not want to open that, believe it or not. At least after this, oh wait, he spawned up. That's so annoying. They're literally just swarming my spawn. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? There's not even like I can leave and get rid of them either. And I got griefed by the anvil. I would have been completely fine had I not landed on it. Finally. And now I can actually buy some more grenades. And there he goes. Launched him into her. And after a small sacrifice of all my NPCs, I finally devised a way to quickly get rid of the goblins. and finally finished them off. Well, so far I'm 5 days in, and I have one of the items I need. And technically I don't even have that, because I still have to shimmer it. Like I said, day 5, one item, but my main goal is still to get to hell. Also, I feel like this is worth showing off. That was lucky. I came here to craft one eye, and by the time I got here, I could craft 2 of them. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm way over prepared for this fight, and I wasn't even going to fight him in the first place. But anyways, at this point, I still needed money. So I devised a plan to fight that, and I'm already dead. And after that poor performance, I'm immediately greeted with this. Oh, another goblin army, wow. It's like my world's trying to rage bait me at this point. I didn't even need the first goblin army, but the second one's just BM. And not only is it useless and a waste of time, but it also prevents the demolitionist from respawning, which I pretty much needed him in order to get to hell quickly. And as if on cue, I run out of grenades completely, and I really have no piercing weapons to deal with the goblins. But luckily I remember they dropped their weakness when you kill them, and with the holes I pre-dug specifically for them, this fight goes over way smoother than the first time. And once again I get the idea to fight and I'm dead. And after going back underground, I just so happened to get this message at almost exactly the same time I reach my goal. And if you don't know what that means, it means that there's a boss waiting for me the second I get up to the surface. Also, I find the Goblin Tinker. And I was trying to buy the Mushroom Pylon when I didn't have enough money, and the most scripted shit imaginable happened. And of course, I don't have enough for it, nor do I have anything I can sell to make enough for it. I'm like 2 gold short. Maybe I could get some in hell. Oh wait, there's these guys. Oh, Gold Bunny, what the f? That's the most scripted shit I've ever seen. After finishing the Pylon network, I go back up to the surface, finally ready to fight the Eye. And when I go to the surface, dumb kid's gonna, there he is. The thing is, I'm literally not quick enough to dodge him because I don't have the lightning boots, or whatever, the specter boots, and a zombie tried to join in on the fun. So it's like, what do I do? You know, if I had the shield he dropped, it would be fine. Yeah, I want to get caught on every fucking piece of geometry I can. I actively didn't touch his hitbox, eh? Bro, just let me fucking, holy shit. I'm clicking it so many times and it doesn't matter. And now it's gonna try and click on the Goblin Tinker every time I try and heal because he won't leave. And I'm in the fucking hole. Oh yeah, he did that right inside my house, right on the NPC. I did not care about that NPC. I'm fine with this outcome. At least he doesn't spawn any more of the little guys. Maybe I should just be using grenades here. Used all my recall potions. It actively tried to grief me there. That was kind of sick. After beating the Eye and getting the shield, I buy some rocket boots and then find my way back down to hell. I used every single recall potion I had on that fight, but it was worth it just for the stupid fucking shield. Made my fucking rocket boots good. Every time it tries to eat my jump now, it's not an immediate death. And now you sell me the pylon, and you sell me more dynamite. 8 days just to make it down to hell. Apparently that was the hardest part, which I really didn't think it was gonna be. I attempt to find the demon scythe, fail, and then decide to move on to fighting Skeletron instead. Alright, my next goal is to beat Skeletron because I want to beat him before I start hard mode. And then I have to actually gather the stuff I need. So far I've only got 1 item. Unfortunately, it's just now turning nighttime, so. And there's a beach, which means it's not on this side. I wonder if I can Chinese max and eat a turtle. And there's a dungeon. Oh, another NPC. I can shove him in the box I'm gonna build for him. Apparently you can't catch sea turtles, so. After finding the dungeon, I immediately start mining it. The plan is to make a minecart arena so it nullifies the fight. Now this sounds kinda cheap, is kinda cheap, but doesn't really matter since I'm normally in a hurry and I usually avoid this guy anyways, since he's definitely the most difficult pre-hard mode boss. And at this point I'm pretty underpowered, so I can't really fight him normally. And despite all my mining, I still haven't found a pair of Hermes boots. Although unfortunately, I built the track too small because I was in a bit of a hurry. And while I would say I paid the price for it, it also really didn't matter since he would have just despawned anyways. But luckily, before fighting him, I made a pylon in the ocean, so I didn't have to walk all the way back. But anyways, after making the track bigger, mining part of the dungeon out, and waiting for nighttime, I was finally ready to try again. Also, I collected a water candle from the top of the dungeon, which is another item I needed. Also, I added a platform in the middle for my grenades to land on. Now, for most of this challenge, RNG was out to get me, but right around this part is where it starts to turn around. Almost immediately he gets hit by a fallen star and takes 1,000 damage. Then after I throw a couple million grenades at him, his hand also gets hit by a falling star. And then a couple minutes later he gets hit by another fallen star. Now, in the entire time I've been playing Terraria, I've only ever seen a boss get hit by a fallen star 3 times. And it just happened to the same boss 3 times in a row. You can actually see how many were aiming for him by looking at the middle platform. But anyways, shortly after, I run out of grenades and have to resort to pulling out the gat, and then I quickly gun him down. I don't think I actually would have beat him by the time night ended if he hadn't gotten hit 3 times. But now it's time to actually enter the dungeon. There was 25 fallen stars just in that one area. Yep, place random blocks throughout the dungeon, pretending like I'm doing anything. At this point, the only 2 things I need from the... Oh, there she is. And now I just need the bewitching table. After dying a few times, I find a golden key right next to a golden chest, which contains a shadow key, which I also need but forgot about. And then shortly after, I find the bewitching table. At this point, I technically have 3 of the items I need. And with the shadow key, I take a trip to hell and start looking through shadow chests for the treasure magnet. You somehow dunked me into lava in the craziest way imaginable, or became a bumper car. And I'll admit it takes me a while, but I finally find the treasure magnet after going through half of hell. At least on the bright side, I got almost a platinum out of it. But now I shouldn't need any more money until I have to get 1,000,000. Alright, and now I need to go find the shimmer biome. After that, I set out to find the shimmer biome, and accidentally off myself in the process. Finding it isn't too hard since, I'll be honest, I just looked it up. And I thought this was funny, but I accidentally blew up a heart crystal which fell in while I was bombing down to it. I make some homes for the NPCs so I can get a pylon. There we go. And now I have this shimmer unlocked. Then, I go back and off myself a few more times so I can get some graves to make a graveyard biome. That way I can craft spider walls from the cobwebs. Damn, it said I left a crater. I'm not that fat. And then I go back to the shimmer to transmute the spider walls and the living wood wand I got so long ago. I get 1,500 sand because I need it for reasons I'll explain later. And at this point I have 6 of the items I need. But I'll let this guy explain what else I need. I need 6 more items, 2 of which are staves, 2 of which are accessories, I think. And then the spider armor and the spider staff. 3 of them are staves, but they're not the same, so it doesn't count. 3 of which I can get in pre-hard mode, and 3 of which I can't. Although, I think I can actually just build the farm right now, but first I am going to get the items. I need the one of which I'm currently going for is the flink staff, which takes 10 platinum and 6 flinks fur to make. And I think I have the platinum because I think I got it from some chest down in hell or whatever. But flinks is spawn in the cold biome, which is why I'm going over there right now. Speaking of, is that one of them down there? Oh, it is one of them, I think. I don't think anyone's actually gone out of their way in the entire history of the game to find flinkses. On my way to find flinkses, I find a unicorn statue. And I'll also let this guy explain why I need it. Oh, and a unicorn statue. That's actually really helpful, because, for later. After committing a triple homicide on some flinkses, I craft a staff. There's another item. Even though I don't have all the items, I finally decide to start building the farm itself. Starting with carving out a giant area, blowing myself up, dying because I forgot my potion wasn't active anymore, blowing myself up again, getting a little bit angry while excavating. Why did you dash into that? Why? Because I tapped the fucking key 1 time? I thought I'd throw a piece of dynamite in my house. Taking a break to fish in the blood moon, and finally building a giant box. Just this part took me 3 days, and it's just to stop mobs I don't want from spawning. But now it's time to actually build the farm. Alright, so this is a box I'm going to be sitting in. Alright, what this is it's a box for the enemies. They're going to teleport into here, and then they're going to get hoiked to the right. Although, obviously, it's not finished yet. Alright, the teleporter, that's not a big enough spot for the teleporter. Teleporter goes in here, it's a little hole right here, hoiks the enemies, and I believe I made it correctly, but I'm not. I mean, I guess I'll find out when I actually use it. But anyways, the teleporter goes in that little hole, teleports them in here, they get sent to the right, they get caught in here, where they get hit a bunch. And there's supposed to be a statue right here, but it really isn't necessary for what I'm gonna do. And there's a bewitching table so you can get extra summon. Water candle for increased spawn rate, and the giant box so other enemies don't spawn. And now I have to put... I'm actually going to get a builder potion for this part. I know I have one. I just don't know where they're at, because I let a stupid idiot sort my chest. Alright, and what I'm doing for this part is I'm putting a bunch of sand to also increase the spawn rate, creating a makeshift desert biome. And now I need sandstone walls for right here, which I do not have. And you can tell it works because the music changes when you stand in front of it. But now I need to build the actual spawner part. And what this is for is... this is where the spiders spawn at. There's going to be teleporters in these little spots down here, which that's where they're going to get teleported up from. And all these enemies that are in here won't be able to spawn when it's actually running. You put the spider spawning walls in this layer right here. And then I think that's actually it, other than the wiring stuff. And what I didn't explain this wall right here, it's so they don't jump off. Also, I need to put lava in the bottom. I don't know if the torches slow the spawns down or anything. They shouldn't, because it doesn't work like Minecraft. Let's see if it actually spawning them. There they are. Now, you can make decent money just by killing them, but that's not how the farm works. And I mean, it's actually somewhat decent in pre-hard mode, but it's way better in hard mode. And now I have to fill the bottom up with lava. After filling up the bottom with lava, I go back up to the mechanic to buy the stuff I need for the wiring. Although unfortunately I run out of money, and after putting up what I can, I test out the farm and it's broken. Now unfortunately I have absolutely no clue what's causing this. I'm just kidding, I moved the teleporter down a block. And after refiring up the 100 decibel machine, I find out it works now and use it to grind up some money for the rest of the wiring. After running it for a few minutes and making about 18 gold, go back to buy the rest of the wiring stuff, find out I still don't have enough, and then go to run it again. After running it for a bit, I go back to the jungle because I realize I forgot I had to fight Queen Bee. Also, I unlock a bunch of achievements because I was actually just cheating the whole time. But now it's time to explain what the unicorn statue is actually for. Basically, the unicorn statue is one of the few hard mode statues, and you can actually get it before hard mode. What this means is they do a lot of damage, and as long as there's at least one bee alive, you can direct this damage towards Queen Bee. Sounds like a good plan, right? Well, instead of doing that, I decided to just fight her without even making room to dodge. And because I'm a really good player, this goes perfectly fine. Now, I know I already beat her, but just to flex, I decided to fight her again, sort of as a victory lap. And just to flex on her and show her how good I am, I build the cage while fighting her. Now, I'll admit, she gets me this time. Now, my ego can't handle this, so I decide to make the fight harder and build the cage before fighting her this time. And also by making some room to dodge. And after successfully defeating her twice, I can now get another item I need. Well, sort of. I still have to build a house for him. Ah, free hat. Wonder what happened to that guy. Whoops. And now after all that, it's finally time to start hard mode. Also, I realize I never explained why I needed the dungeon breaks. It's for this bridge so they don't blow up. But anyways, on to the fight. I start off by missing every single piece of TNT, and then for the most part it actually goes pretty well. And then I get him down to 4,000 health before the stupid worm gets in the way and I bounce off of him. After that poor performance, I need to grind some more gold for some more TNT. And after getting to the end of the bridge, I realize I don't have any more voodoo dolls, so I do the next best thing. I drop him into the lava, somehow fail at killing him, go back in your cuck chair little guy, fail again, dip myself in the lava instead, and finally successfully drop him into the lava. All of this just to summon a boss. That was much easier that time, never mind, we fucking started going up Mach 20. Now at this point I need like 6 more items still, and I can get 2 of them just by running this farm in hard mode. I craft the spider armor and the staff, and now I only need 3 items, which are the lucky coin, the pygmy necklace, and the frog vampire staff. Now in order to spawn the pirate invasion you need a pirate map, which means you need to farm enemies in the ocean, and luckily enough I got King Slime to spawn while I was there. Unluckily enough, he didn't drop it despite spawning 1,000 slimes, although not too long after I get 2 in a row from random enemies somehow. That perfectly sums up Terraria's RNG. I buy the pygmy necklace, so I only need 2 more items now. I spawn the pirate invasion, and then lead them into these lava traps I made a while ago, specifically for this event. And after it gets to about 50%, the Flying Dutchman spawns, which is what drops the lucky coin. And while I'm trying to fight it, they somehow find a way in and slaughter all my NPCs. After jerry-rigging the slowest way imaginable to kill it, I finally take it down and it doesn't drop the item I need. although I get the coin gun despite it being almost 3.5 times rarer, and it would pair really well with this farm, although I don't need it at all. And the event ends almost immediately after. And I end almost immediately after. Luckily, I got a second map so I can summon a second invasion. I kill another Flying Dutchman, and instead of the item I need, it drops a discount card. I quickly finish the rest of the pirate invasion and go to shimmer the discount card into the lucky coin. It's crazy the lengths the game will go to give you the wrong item. And now all that's left is to crank up the spawn rate and watch the money roll in. And I know this is technically cheating, and I would probably consider it cheating if the rest of this wasn't just me standing here waiting for the money to rake in. Is this cheating? I don't consider it cheating, but let me know if you do below. And as for the one item left I need, you don't really need it for this farm. It just makes it a little bit more efficient. But anyways, how this works is, this part down below kills these stupid bats that spawn. This dirt part traps them, and then they're just stuck there. It teleports them in. Obviously this part down here spawns them in and teleports them to it. And there's supposed to be a statue here for you to lock your things onto, but when you crank up the spawn rate, it doesn't work, and it just despawns whatever enemies there due to how the spawning mechanics work. But anyways, that's pretty much it. You can see just how quick this is. In the time I've been talking, I've gotten 8 platinum already, and I need 1,000. And I know I have the banner. You actually don't want to put it down because it doesn't work. It makes the farm less efficient. Basically what's happening is there's 6 summoned enemies, or 6 summons right here, and every time they hit the enemies they have a chance of giving money. They have a chance of giving 10 coins, which can be gold. They have like a 10% chance of being gold. They have a 20% chance to drop a coin every hit, 10% chance for it to be gold, 1 to 10 gold specifically, and obviously it gives me a bunch of money, and whatever else it gives me, which you can sell these. They're not worth much compared to how much platinum you get from it. It's still worth something. And what the treasure magnet's for is, this actually spawns money so quickly that the money would despawn by the time it got to you, so it doesn't despawn, because it makes it get to you quicker, obviously. Oh, and a blood moon. I used this blood moon to attempt to get the frog staff, but I just fail and move on. Well, that was a waste. Well, anyways, back to farming for money. There's only one black recluse in there. Oh, I turned it off, that's why. And that's pretty much it. I don't know why the stupid fucking birds are being dumb. Well, the birds are pretty much useless. And now we just watch some money roll in. I don't think I ever finished talking about the banner. The reason you don't put it down is because you want them to live longer so you get more money. And there is some stuff you can do to make it a little bit quicker. Like, I could have made it on for the worthy seed, which would have doubled the output, the already crazy output, which I was gonna do, but I forgot I would have to enter hard mode again, which would take longer than just using the farm itself, which is why I didn't do that. But anyways, now we just watch some money roll in. I somehow got killed by a bat, and I lost 45 platinum from that. Well, I think it's laying on the ground. I'm gonna die again because I forgot to turn off the spawn rate. Really? Give me my money back, dickhead. So far, I'm at 123 platinum out of the 1,000 I need. Although I'm definitely not gonna make that mistake again. And unfortunately, dickhead's gone, so I can't even sell shit to him anymore. Which means it's just gonna pool on the ground, but that's whatever. Anyways, back to farming. And that's it. 1 million gold. My fortune was built on the backs of over 10,000 black recluses. Crazy how much quieter. Oh, you can see the 99 platinum. Crazy how much quieter I got when I switched armor. Or switched accessories, rather. Let's see how much the crap they dropped is worth. Their fingers are also worth like 8 platinum each. And I got 217 banners from them. Well, I guess there's only one thing to do now.